Hello again guys to another What If video. It's Obirocha here back with another What If video. So guys, this is what if Naruto was trained by Madara and Hashirama. So guys, I got this idea from AD. He is a friend of mine. So we're just talking and then I just decided to ask him if I could borrow his idea. So I'm just gonna be doing my own twist to this one. So I hope you like it. So we started Naruto. He was 4 years old. As you know, he's busy painting the Okage monument to this point as he's like running away from the Anbu. Practically the Anbu are enjoying this as it seems like a workout to them, but instinctively none of them can catch Naruto at this point. As you know, Naruto decided like to take his like shinobi life seriously from the beginning in this one. So Naruto has like been training hard, so none of the Anbu at this point can catch him. The third Hokage reason Sarutobi is practically shocked in Naruto's speed, as he like goes around the village getting chased by shinobi. So, as Naruto is running, he like slips down and then he forces the Anbu capture him and then he goes and cleans up the monument. Time skip, Naruto is heading back after cleaning the Hokage monument as he is heading back home. As Naruto is heading back home, he like gets knocked in the back of the head as he then faints. As Naruto faints down at this point, he then goes into his mindscape. As Naruto is in his mindscape, he then meets Kurama the Ninja. As Kurama then grows at him. As Naruto then is taking a step back at this, but he then like looks up to see like a giant orange fox with 9 tails. Naruto is shocked by this, but he then says, "So you're the Kyubi no Kitsune." As Kurama is shocked by this, and then he says, "Boy, are you not even scared? I am the great Kyubi no Kitsune, the 9 tails." Yes, Naruto says, "So you're the reason why I'm hated." Okay. The Naruto is practically shocked by Naruto's action, and then Naruto then like walks up to the cage as he like places his hand across the cage. He then says, "I really wish we could be friends," Naruto said to the Ninjas. The Ninjas are practically taken shot back by this, but then decides to go with it as he and Naruto start to chat, and he then tells Naruto of how he was controlled by the masked man who had the Sharingan. So Naruto is pretty angry by this, as with all this anger which is putting up in Naruto, then forces him to unlock the two Tamo in both eyes. As the cube is then shocked by this and says, "Those cursed eyes," but it doesn't really matter as it out, but it just says, "Congratulations, brat, you've unlocked the Sharingan." Naruto then shocked by Sensei, "But how? I'm not an Uchiha." Naruto is technically smart in this what if, so yeah, don't mind me. So Kurama then explains to Naruto, on how he is like the descendant of Madara Uchiha. Naruto is practically shocked by this as he then asks the Ninjas about his parents. So the Ninjas practically then says your parents were Kushin and Minato Uzumaki. Naruto is seriously shocked by this, but then again he just then smiles says, "So the fourth Hokage is my father." "Damn you, old man, you refuse to tell me. Then you expect everything to work out," Naruto sighs to himself. In the outside world, Naruto has been tied up to a chair, like strapped with chakra strings and chakra restrictions filled on his body so he can't use the Kyuubi's power just in case he might escape. So the shinobis then open up like Naruto, like the gas stove is then like open it up, shutting all the windows and all exits so that the gas cannot escape. So Naruto practically like starts to inhale the gas as the Naruto begins to sense danger. As it tells Naruto not to snap his eyes back in the real world. So as Naruto opens his eyes, he then begins like to wiggle around as he's like trapped. So he practically a shinobi is there grinning like a madman, as he then lights up the fire with a small Kakaten fireball jutsu. So immediately Naruto's house erupts in a big boom. So as Naruto's house explodes, the third Hokage and Sarutobi feels this as he then rushes to the scene, along with other unbent shinobi. Some of the shinobi, then start, use water styles to try and, tame the fire. Hiruzen, like noticing whose house is this, he then immediately like bursts down the door as he rushes inside. As he rushes inside, he then sees Naruto strapped down to a chair, with his chakra restricting seals and everything around him. So the third Hokage instantly like snaps his fingers in an anvil, who is like the dog anvil Kakashi, instinctively rushes inside as he then grabs Naruto. So practically at this moment, Naruto's hair has been burned, like half of his hair has been burned. He is like his face is not really damaged, his hands are not, but his legs and the chest area and the back are pretty much burned and charred. So Naruto is immediately taken to the Hokage's private doctor. As the private doctor begins to instinctively like start removing like the clothes which have been burned and attached to Naruto's skin. So time skip after Naruto's operation with the doctors. The doctors say Naruto is still able to live, but the high chances of him waking up are very slim, as Naruto is practically in a coma at this point. So while Naruto is in a coma, the third Hokage then begins to do detective as he like looks for the culprits who did this. So he then finds the culprits who did this, and he has them executed on site, as they are like all killed, as they were like all the members of the civilian council. They then get executed. So practically the Hokage then gets like most of his power back, as Danzo sneakers at this, as he has like lost his foothold when he's using. So as Naruto in hospital in Naruto's mindscape, Naruto then appears in his mindscape as he like can still feel the pain of his outside body. As he then rushes to Kurama's cage, as he then like sees Kurama, lying down there sleeping. And then says, "Oi, Kurama!" As Kurama then opens up one eye. Brad, what do you want? As Naruto then says, "Yo, have you like seen what's happening outside?" As Kurama then opens his eyes, as he like sees through and attempts to, as he uses Naruto's senses to check his body for any damage and everything. Kurama is practically shocked by how burnt Naruto is, but doesn't mention to Naruto. Naruto doesn't really know, but he last remembers like being trapped in a chair. So suddenly, out of nowhere, three figures appear in Naruto's mindscape, as it is none other than Hashirama and Madara, and the Sage of Six Pack also. So as these three figures appear in Naruto's mindscape, Hashirama, then sees Naruto and says, "Huh." So this is, how our generation has moved on. His mother then like sees Naruto and says, "Huh, this brat, yeah, I bet he doesn't even have the Sharingan, so it's not even worth the training." Naruto is like takes an offense to this, but then activates his Tutamoi Sharingan. His mother gasps in shock, as he'd never seen anyone with a Tutamoi at this young age. So the Sage of Six Pack, then walks up to Naruto. It's like Kurama then sees the Sage of Six Pack. As then says, "Ah, old man, so I see you finally come. Is this boy the one?" As the Sage of Six Pack then nods and says, "Yes, Kurama, this boy is the one who is going to, protect this world." So Naruto is confused by this. He then asks, "Oh, hey, Super Gramps, is it okay if I call you Super Gramps?" The Sage of Six Pack then nods and then says, "So what am I doing here, and who?" Naruto then gasps and choking and says, that's the first Hokage, and that's Madara Uchiha, the god of Shinobi, after the stage of Six Paths." Naruto like has been reading up. As Madara gasps this, who says, "Huh, so I'm called the next god of Shinobi, Hashirama." Hashirama then sneakers at Madara as, flexing on him, but he doesn't really pay too much attention to it. So Naruto and the Sage of Six Pack, begin to chat, as the Sage of Six Pack then begins to tell Naruto like his story of, how he, Kage and everything. So practically the stage begins to tell Naruto like he's gonna be training Naruto for an upcoming event which is like gonna shake all the bounds of earth, as he's like Naruto's gonna be forced to do some tough decisions. So Naruto at this point, he like starts to see reason of why the Hidden Leaf Village and everything is, Hashirama and Madara are pretty disappointed in how like their creation has now become. their creation has now become so it's no longer the perfect creation they came up with. So the Sage of Six Paths then tells Naruto that they were gonna be beginning his training in his mindscape. Not in series, but super grand sage. Am I not supposed to do with my real body? Is like, is this body also gonna, is my outside body gonna gain the memory and everything? Is the Sage of Six Paths then notes. So currently, outside, Naruto is still in a coma. It's just been all over a week. Naruto has been in a coma. Sorry about that. So the third Hokage isn't Sarutobi, is pretty worried for Naruto. He's like doesn't know like if Naruto will ever wake up. So the third Hokage instinctively like summons Jirai and Tsunade, saying that if they do not come to the village to have their son in rights revoked. So immediately Jirai and Tsunade, sprint back to the village as the third Hokage then tells them that their godson has been, injured. Jirai gasps in shock. He says, Sensei, who did this? Tsunade, who didn't even know, like, she is godson. I don't have a godson. As Jirai then explains to Tsunade that her godson is, her grandson is like the son of her daughter Kushina. So Kushina is practically a Senju, and Minato is like Madara's son. So he's an Uchiha. So the Uchiha massacre is not gonna happen at this point, but it might, but I'm not sure it's not gonna happen. So Tsunade instinctively is shocked by this, and she then asks where is Naruto being kept. Is Naruto like being kept in a room in the Hokage facility, in the Hokage mansion? As Tsunade then heads down to Naruto's room. As she like goes to Naruto's room, she's shocked by the sight as she sees his bent chest, which is slowly recovering, and his back. She then does a quick scan on Naruto to see if nothing else has been damaged, but she sees none. So Tsunade then goes back to the third Hokage. She says that she's very uncertain on how long it's gonna take Naruto to wake up. So it's been a year at this point, as Naruto has been training with the Sage of Six Paths, Madara and Hashirama. So the Sage of Six Paths, gave Naruto like his like full power, like not with the moon. He still gets like the sun and moon seal, but he gets like the full power of the Sage of the Six Paths, which then enables him to to unlock the Mangekyo Sharingan and the Renegan. He's not gonna get the Rene Sharingan, as I see like the Rene Sharingan is really hyped for nothing. Like I really don't get what it is. Just like a Renegan with Tomoe inside. I really don't get anything about it. He's not gonna get the Rene Sharingan yet, but he might. So as Naruto continues his training, he then begins like to notice like he's like fading a bit. He then asks to this says then says, oh, so it seems you're gonna be waking up soon, as the sage then decides to step up Naturo's training. Naruto continuously like trains with Hashirama, Madara, and the Sage of Six Paths. As Naruto then masters a technique which is called like the Yang release, where he can create weapons and tools out of nothing, things like out of imagination. I took that from Anime King. So as Naruto like trains in this technique, he also gets trained in the creation of all things technique, where you can create life and and breathe into it and give it form and everything out of nothing. So Hashirama then teaches Naruto his wood style and many other techniques of the wood style, the sage mode. Madara trains Naruto in his Susanoo, the perfect Susanoo, the mega Susanoo and everything. He then trains him in the some of the Renegan techniques that he knows. So the Sage of Six Paths also trains Naruto and continues to train Naruto. Time skip. It's been 3 years now as Naruto is still in a coma. Tsunade has already been elected as the first Hokage. The third Hokage can no longer handle the load of work. Jiraiya is still like practically going on his missions outside the village, but he still comes back from time to time to check on Naruto. So Shizune then rushes into the room and says Lady Tsunade, Naruto is waking up. So Lady Tsunade instinctively like rushes to, Naruto as she like wants to see her godson. So when she rushes to Naruto then sees her, he like then gets scared as he like then says, stay away from me. Please don't hurt me. As Tsunade then says like in the sweetest way she can, no Naruto, I'm not gonna hurt you, it's me, your grandmother. Naruto is then shocked by this, but he then hugs you. So Hinata hugs you, he then begins like to bond with Tsunade, but Tsunade has to get back to being Hokage. Hinata then says, is the old man still there? And Tsunade says yes. So the third Hokage is then summoned to the Hokage office. He says, oh, so Tsunade, what do you need? Is, the third Hokage then sees Naruto. And Naruto then looks at the third Hokage and says, why? And the third Hokage says, why what? Why didn't you tell me about my parents? Why didn't you tell me about the things that I contain? The third Hokage was shocked at this and he says, but how did you know? Naruto then keeps quiet and says, but why didn't you tell me? As the third Hokage then tries to tell us the truth of like how Minato had enemies and everything, but Naruto then says that was bullshit, as you could have told me who my parents were. It's not like I'd have brothered it out to anyone. So the third Hokage at this point is really ashamed at himself, but he keeps a cool frame. So Naruto is like really angered by this, and then says like all the pain, all the suffering I've suffered because of this village was just because of the thing that I contain. I don't really blame the thing which the Ninth was wanting to destroy this village. This village deserves it. Is Tsunade in her heart is secretly agreeing with Naruto. She like knows that the village has really been spoiled. It like there's nothing pure about it left. Her grandfather's creation has been destroyed, and they've made their own creation. So guys, I think I'm gonna end this video. I'm gonna drop it today. I'm practically tired now. It's around 6 p.m. so I'm gonna get resting. I think I've made about 3 what ifs, so yeah, I'm gonna be resting now. So please like and subscribe to my channel. Yeah.